How could anyone ever tell you that you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you that you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. So do you know this song? I want you to sing this to yourself. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? You were anything less than beautiful. How could anyone ever tell you that you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is such a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How deeply you're connected to my soul. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, do you know how loved you are? 'Cause you are precious, so sweet and bright, a radiant beam of shining light. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, do you know how loved you are? Do you know how loved you are on this Valentine's Eve? Do you know truly how loved you are? And as I look at Valentine's, I want to change it around today a little bit to say how loved you are just to yourself, to give yourself that love and appreciation and credit for all that you are. So my talk today is going to be all about, the song I was going to do is called I'm Worthy, and it's just this big rockets thing, but it just felt like we were in this, I could just feel that we were in that sweet, tender place that I could just talk to, which is that place of just dropping down into the soul of you that doesn't have anything to do with your past history and your inner critic and all that stuff. It's about you just really allowing yourself to just accept yourself for who you are, love yourself, give yourself chocolates tomorrow if you want, give yourself a dozen roses, whatever it is that you want to do. But today I want to talk about how we have this inner critic that can come up and go, oh, who do you think you are to love yourself? You've got all these issues. Well, we're going to just say back off to all that stuff. And the thing is, we get these messages all the time about that we're not good enough. If we buy this car or buy these clothes or look this way, you're skinny or whatever, that then you're going to be accepted. And I'm here to just turn that on its head today of just saying, no, you already are. You are beautiful, you are true, you are divine, you are whole. And I love this little thing that I learned years ago, how important it is to just be so aware of the messages that you get from music, from society, from the news. That I was in a hotel and the alarm clock radio woke me up with Linda Ronstadt affirming to me first thing in the morning before I even put my little feet to the floor, you're no good, you're no good, you're no good, baby, you're no good. And she says, I'm going to say it again, you're no good, you're no good. So what do you think I'm singing to myself all day long? So one of the things that I think is so important is, what do we say to ourselves first thing in the morning? Did you wake up this morning? Did you go into the bathroom, see yourself in the mirror and go, oh my God, did you get more beautiful overnight? Look at this body. Look at how fabulous you are. Did you say that? Did you do that? Or did you go, oh my God, everything's dropping? I mean, this is what we got to do. This is a spiritual practice to every morning look in the mirror and say, good morning, you beautiful creature. Whatever it is that you want to say. So to get some ideas in your toolbox of how you can start your day, I found this wonderful little video because I love giving examples. And if you could take this example and try it tomorrow morning, but this little girl with her dad, this is the cutest thing. So David, if you would run that little video for us, it's a great little affirmation you could try.
Look at yourself. Look in your eyes. You gotta see it, okay? You gotta feel it. You ready? You ready for school?
Yeah.
Is it gonna be a good day? A really good day? You gonna be positive? Say, I am strong.
I am strong.
Say, I am smart.
I am smart.
Say, I work hard.
I work hard.
I am beautiful.
I am beautiful.
I am respectful.
I am respectful.
Yeah. Say, I'm not better than anyone.
I'm not better than anyone.
Nobody's better than me.
No one's better than me.
I am amazing.
I am amazing.
I am great.
I am great.
What's your name?
Aaliyah Austin.
If you fall,
I get back up.
what are you?
I'm blessed.
Yes. Say thank you, God,
Thank you, God,
for making me
for making me
the greatest.
the greatest.
There's nobody
There's nobody
better
better
than me.
than me.
All right, give me 5. Give me a kiss. Let's go.
Is that the cutest thing you've ever seen? So can you try doing that tomorrow? I am beautiful. I am smart. So whatever it is that you can see about yourself and just say, I am blessed, she says. Can you imagine starting your day that way? Even if you don't really feel it. That it's kind of a fake it till you make it sometimes. You know, if you just keep affirming it and you keep saying, I am blessed and I am smart and I'm beautiful and that your subconscious hears that. You start to affirm it. I mean, that's what affirmative prayer is, that we start to affirm these things and it makes it real. But here's a question for you. Cheryl Richardson said, what if the only New Year's resolution you make is just to love yourself more? Isn't that great? What would it look like if this whole year was about just simply loving yourself more in whatever ways, whatever that means to you? You know, whatever self-care is to you or whatever being gentle with yourself is, whatever that is. But, you know, when we have this critic that comes in and starts to analyze everything that we do, it can trigger us. It can, well, I'm going to speak for me. It can trigger me that I can have all of these tools in my toolkit and I am singing these songs and I'm writing these songs and I'm reading these books and I can have a trigger come and immediately I just go into the toilet. And, you know, I have to tell you this cracks me up. This is how the critic is so in our consciousness that, do y'all have iPhones? You know about Siri? So Siri, so check this out. This is a true story. So Siri did something really good. And I said, oh, Siri, thank you so much. You are fabulous. Do you know what she came back with me with? She said, I'm just doing my job. And I said, no, Siri, you're fabulous. And she said, wow, really? And then she said, I said, no, Siri, really, you're really fabulous. She said, was it something I said? But then here's the kicker. I said it again. Siri, you're fabulous. You know what she said? I'm good, but I'm not great. Do you believe that? In your phone, I'm good, but I'm not great. It's like even Siri cannot take a compliment. So the next time someone gives you a compliment, you just say, thank you. So I want to do something a little radical with you all right now. This is really radical. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to. But I would like to just take 30 seconds to acknowledge you, to acknowledge all of us. Because I truly believe, especially in this pandemic, we have all gone through so much. I mean, what we've all had to do, I mean, I have to acknowledge myself for learning how to work Zoom and equipment. I mean, I didn't know how to do any of this stuff 2 years ago. But to just take a moment, and what you're going to do is I'm going to make you stand up, and you're going to give yourself, we are all going to give you and each other a standing ovation. Now, this would be much more powerful if we were all in the room together, but we can do this on Zoom. So stand up. You've probably been sitting for too long anyway. Just, you're very good. You pay attention well. And if you don't want to stand up, you don't have to, but I want you to wildly applaud yourself on the count of 3. You're going to just say, on the count of 3, we're not ready yet, you're just going to go crazy. And this is just take a deep breath beforehand, and I want you to just scan your life for a moment and think about what you have gone through in these last 2 years, even this last week. What have you gone through that you have made it through? You have put one foot in front of the other and just did it. So on the count of 3, standing ovation for who you are, what you've done. Ready, set, go. Make some noise. Okay, that was very good. You can sit down now. But could you imagine if you did some kind of little ritual like this every day when you got up in the morning and you looked in the mirror and you come up with, this is your homework assignment from me. Okay, you're not going to just listen to me today. I'm going to make you work. I want you to think about what are 3 affirmations that you can say to yourself this week that you're going to say each day. I am what? Like that little girl, you could watch that video again. I am what? I am, and just declare for yourself, even if it feels just awkward. I have this friend who has done a ritual for the past 5 years, every single day. She does an acknowledgement exercise at the end of each day where she says her name, and she says, I acknowledge you today because you took a risk saying hello to that person. I acknowledge you for what, and she'll come up with this list. But what she did was she told me that in making this list, in knowing that she has to say a list at the end of the day, she's more aware. She's more conscious of what she's done throughout the day to give herself credit for. And I don't know if you're like me, I grew up in a family where it was like, my dad used to say, don't stand on a soapbox, whatever that even means. Basically saying, don't think you're so great. And I grew up with that idea that I had to prove myself, that I couldn't just simply know that I was good enough. And so it's been a process for me of affirming and acknowledging myself. And sometimes it's really uncomfortable. But if you're not doing it for yourself, who's going to do it for you? And you know what's so interesting about life? When you do it for yourself, all of a sudden people start to say that to you. People start to acknowledge you more. But it's got to start with you. But one of the ways we just truly get off track, I think, is this idea of we have to be perfect, and we have to try hard, and God forbid we ask for help. And it's so ironic. Well, it's not ironic, actually. You teach what you need to learn, obviously. I have a song called I Will Be Gentle with Myself that just goes, I will be gentle with myself. I will be gentle with myself. And I will hold myself like a newborn baby child. Now, I sing this song at every women's retreat that I do. Everybody wants to hear this because we all have that inner critic going, me, me, me. And so I will be gentle with myself. So I want to tell you this story that happened just last week. So I went to my very first conference. It was a CSL, Centers for Spiritual Living National Conference. I was part of the music team. I actually got to play live music to people, and they were applauding, and they were singing. It was quite amazing to hear actual applause. But what was amazing about this conference is that they made their protocols, their COVID protocols, really strict and really good. And everyone had to wear a mask all the time. You all had to be vaccinated. But they were all about making everybody feel safe. And the main thing you had to do that they told you beforehand was they were going to, when you checked in, they gave you a COVID test to go to your room and go and do it. Now, I've never taken one. And so I was a little nervous about this because if you came back positive, you simply couldn't come to the conference. You had to just go to your room, and that was the end of the story. You could watch the live stream, but you couldn't come to the conference. So imagine this now. I'm already nervous, and I go to my little room with my little COVID test, and I start to read the directions. And I don't know if any of you could relate to this, but you know when you're a little nervous and you're reading directions and you're reading them over and over, and then you start to have your critic come in going, why can't you get it? What's wrong with you? You're really stupid. And they're kind of fuzzy, and then the pictures were kind of fuzzy in the Xerox thing. So I'm getting more and more anxious, and my critic is now starting to rise up and start to say, what's your problem? Why can't you get this? It's not that hard. People do this every day. So I then get smart and think, oh, I will look at the brand name, and I will go to I'll look on YouTube and see if they have a video. And they did. So I'm thinking, well, maybe I'm just, I have to see it to get it. Well, the video is in Japanese. So I want you to imagine this scene that I've got the COVID, I've got everything spread out. I'm in front of my computer, I'm looking at it, and they're doing this in Japanese, and I keep stopping and starting the video so that I could try and understand what they're doing. I am in tears with this. I cannot get it. I am not understanding it. I'm in tears, and now I'm getting all hot. Do you know, have you ever been through this, what I'm talking about? I'm getting all hot, and then my critic is going insane. And now, on top of my critic going insane, now I've got extra shame about that I'm the woman who sings, I will be gentle with myself. As I'm saying, I'm the stupidest person here. Everyone's getting it except me. So what I did in that moment was something I would like to impart my wisdom here, because this is what I learned and this is what I have to know all the time. In that moment, at least the one practical thing I did was I put my hand on my heart and I said, little one, what is the most loving thing you could do for yourself right now? What is the most loving thing you could do for yourself? While you're in the midst of this firestorm of shame and beating yourself up, what's the most loving thing? And this is what happens for all of us, that when we're on this path, we might still go down that path and get triggered. But the difference is, I think, when you are studying this stuff, when you're talking about it, is that we don't build a condo in shame land. We don't stay there and invite everyone over for cocktails and stay there for 3 weeks. We can at least get ourselves out of it a little faster. So I hear this voice just say, ask for help. So I go down to the desk where the woman was who gave me the test, and with I must have looked like I was 10 years old, because I came up going, I can't really do it. Sorry. And she goes, oh, no problem. And some woman overheard me say this, and she said, oh, honey, come with me. We went into the women's bathroom. It was right next door. In 2 seconds, she's saying, here, do this, 5 drops, da, 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 da. And it was done. I come out. Now, I've gone through this whole walk of shame. I come out, and I see that I didn't even see this before. I see a group of 20 people all helping each other to do it because no one else could figure the damn thing out. So what I'm saying here is, how can we be gentle with ourselves? How can we, when we get triggered, allow ourselves to just give ourselves a break? And I might have told you this story before, but especially today, to talk about this and to really drive this point home, I want to tell you the story, if you haven't heard it before. It's one of my favorite ones to tell, about this woman named Evie McDonald. And Evie McDonald is a woman who was born with polio. And she was a nurse, and she was diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's disease, ALS. And because she was a nurse, and she knew what was going to be happening to her. And she always hated her body. She just loathed her body. Her limbs didn't work right. Nothing worked right. And so as she was deteriorating from this disease, she was in a wheelchair. And then she said she was a bowl of Jell-O in a wheelchair. And she came up with this idea. And this is what she said. She said, since I'm dying anyway, why not use this time that I have to finally learn to love myself unconditionally? With the time that I have left, what would it look like if I just loved myself unconditionally? So she gave herself this game, this exercise to do. And every day, 3 times a day, she would roll herself in front of the mirror, naked, and the exercise was to find something about herself that she could love. And this went on for a while, couldn't find anything. But what happened was she got to a point, I love this, that she crossed some sort of a threshold and actually began feeling love and compassion for herself. For all the things that she didn't like about herself, she had, and this is what's so fabulous about our spiritual life, our spiritual principles here, is that a shift in consciousness like that, just this little shift, can be the miracle in our lives. The miracle of just shifting consciousness. And that's what happened for her, that she did this every day. And one day she had that shift and she started to say, well, I always liked my hair and I have beautiful hands. And people have always said I was this loving, compassionate person. And she kept doing this every day. And the miracle, the absolute miracle that happened is that strength started to come back to her limbs. She started to be able to move again. And within a certain amount of time, she was fine. And she is one of a handful of people who have cured themselves of this disease. And that was just from that unconditional love to herself. And she actually wound up quitting being a nurse and became a minister, preaching this message of love and compassion and kindness. So one of the exercises that I do in all my retreats that I think is so powerful is 2 words. Why wait? Why wait? Or even just to say, don't wait. So when you look at that story and you say, what am I waiting for to be able to love myself? What am I waiting for to have that unconditional love that on Valentine's Day I can look in the mirror and say, you beautiful Valentine, I love you. And I acknowledge you for all you've been through in your life. I mean, if we could take the time to listen to each of our stories, we would bow at your feet for all that we've been through in our lives. Because the truth is, we are all just beautiful, true, and divine. And I sing this song to you. This is a brand new song. I wrote this with Gary Lynn Floyd. And this is a song about a woman that, it was inspired by a woman who has since passed. But a friend of mine said, could you write a song before she goes? Just a little chant, because her line that she would come up and say to everybody is, I want you to know you are beautiful, true, and divine. And so Gary and I wrote this little chant for her. But I came back, it just haunted me. And I came back to Gary and I said, I think this is a whole song. Would you help me write it? And so we wrote this song, and as I sing it, I want you to you can even close your eyes and just imagine that this is your higher self speaking to you on this Valentine's Day to just remind you, don't wait. Know it right now that you are beautiful, true, and divine. You are beautiful, true, and divine. When I look in your eyes, I see you shine. You are beautiful, true, and divine. true and divine. There are times I know when you doubt the effect of all you give out, but anyone who knows you agrees that the love you give is your legacy. And sing with me. You are beautiful, true, and divine. You can even put in gallery view and look around at the room and say, you are beautiful, true, and divine. Look at these beautiful faces. When I look in your eyes, I see you shine. You are beautiful, true, and divine. Everything you do, I see it in you. I see it in you. I see it in you. You are beautiful, true, and divine. You are beautiful, true, and divine. When I look in your eyes, I see you shine. You are beautiful, true, and divine. And you are beautiful, true, and divine. You are beautiful, true. You are. Just know that in your heart. We all need to know that. So repeat after me. I'm whole and I'm complete. I know what I'm worth. I own my power. I practice self-care. I am beautiful, true, and divine. And the truth about me is, I'm fabulous.